Macarena. Macarena. Hey, Macarena. All right.
There goes the ad revenue, everyone.
There it is, everybody.
Oh,
The ad revenue is spiking as we speak. Good
it's tanking
morning,
as we speak.
everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 547 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike, we are almost, just almost halfway to 1,100. Three more shows. By the end of this week, we will be halfway to 1,100 shows. Well on our way.
Well on our way.
Time will fly. Time will fly right by.
It will. And in that time, will Derpy replace his smoke alarm batteries?
I highly doubt it. Good morning, Derpy. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you fellas doing?
We be great, man. We be great. How you doing, Mike?
It's my last day of vacation. I go back to work tomorrow. I am not happy.
Oh, those are the worst. The worst. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
worst day ever.
Yeah, I walk outside and it's a nice day and it pissed me off
Oh,
because it just rained my entire vacation. And I go outside today. I'm like, this is the weather I wanted all week. I had so many plans to work outside, get stuff done.
I suppose it's going to get up to about almost 80 degrees today too. So
Yeah. Not happy, boys. Not happy. I'm like one of the few people that sees a nice day and is pissed off.
yeah, that is so
I'm
you.
just so mad.
That is
It's
so
just
you.
yeah, it's the kick in the dick.
A couple of things before we get started. Again, welcome back. This is 547 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike, I do want to I do want to say I hope that everybody is okay. I know that the other day there was a tornado touchdown in Washington County, which was really close to Brian. You know, Brian, who calls in sometime and is on the show from One Man's Opinion. It was right in his neck of the woods, right down near South Park. So uh, hope everybody's doing okay. Hope there was no serious injuries. I do know that a lot of homes got damaged and things like that, but you know, hopefully everybody's all right.
Yeah. That would have been the topper of my vacation. Just get hit by a tornado.
Oh, that would have made it so perfect. I
That
mean,
would have been
for
great.
what?
It would have been
um,
great. If it hit me, not that it hit other people. It just used to hit me. I'm in a mood.
the college video game, the college football video game derby. I know you're just chomping at the bit to get your hands on this, huh?
Yes, sir.
This comes out this week. It'll be out the
What?
16th. The
The
16th.
reveal.
The
Oh, the
reveal comes.
review.
Yeah, the reveal. It doesn't come out until wait, what next year?
Well,
July.
what's the review?
Oh, July. It doesn't come out until July.
Yeah, it comes out this summer. What's the review? And why is that an anticipated time? Who cares?
They're showing gameplay of what it looks like, basically.
I bet you it's going to look like every other football game that
It's
EA
going to look
Sports
like
does.
Madden with college graphics,
I bet you any money it's going to
and
look like Madden.
and I'm going to be very disappointed.
What do you
I
want
just
it to
can't
look
wait to
like?
take. I just can't wait to take Kent State to the national championship, baby. Golden Flash are coming back.
Do they even have it? I don't even know if I have a console to play the new college game. I seen something the other day where the PS5 was like the lowest thing that's going to be on. Do I have a PS5? I don't have a PS5, do I?
No, I don't think you do.
Do we have a PS5 at the studio?
No,
Oh.
no. I have the Xbox Series S.
Xbox gang.
So that is to get the review coming out. That's this week, the 16th.
Reveal.
What did I say?
Review.
Well, what's the
Review.
difference between a reveal and a review?
Reveal is just showing you gameplay footage, showing you features.
I've
Review
already
is once the
seen
game's out,
gameplay
you
footage.
play it, you see what it comes in.
They've already shown footage. I've seen guys throwing and passing, and
Yeah,
they're
it's
wearing
not
Notre
enough
Dame
though. We need
uniforms.
more. We need more. We need
Hmm.
more.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
As
Anyway,
long as there's franchise mode, the portal, so I can steal a 5-star recruit from Georgia, and
yeah. See, this
I
is
see I
annoying
see
me already.
there's like
I can't.
on the ratings there's like alcohol warnings. My guys are gonna be out partying, like
What do you have, Derpy? Do you have Xbox or PlayStation? Derpy?
I think you upset Derpy. He left. He didn't leave. He's still here, but
Now you're going to see his thing in 2 seconds. Go. Derpy is connecting.
yeah.
Derpy is. Well, I thought maybe if you guys had the same console, we could make it interesting, and the two of you guys could play, and we could cut out the highlights and put it on the show, maybe something like that. But I don't know. We lost Derpy.
We might have to send
I'm
that to
back.
Derpy's. Oh, he's back now.
Derpy, what do you got? Do you have Xbox or you have PlayStation?
I got an Xbox.
Okay, so that's this works out. When this comes out, this game in July, we're gonna have you two play. We won't do the whole game on the air. I mean, we'll do something like with Twitch and that, but we'll also cut out the highlights and then we'll post some of them as we're talking about the game on the air in July. I do want to also
I
say, guys,
dig.
does that sound okay to you?
I dig. I'm down.
Maybe like an Ohio State Penn State showdown or something like this. A Big Ten. See who has the dominance in the Big Ten.
I'm down.
All right, Mike.
I just love how you're spending my money.
All right. So we're going to so we'll make it interesting too. So just we got time on that, but I do want to mention, guys, that we are going to be heading on vacation here at the end of the month. The last week that goes into June, whatever that last week is, where the next Monday is like June 3rd. It's that whole week before. So I do want to put that out there.
27.
Like the 26th.
Yeah. So 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st.
So Derpy, I need you to write that down on your calendar because here's the thing that Derpy does.
He'll just text us all
Well,
day long.
Derpy will be texting while we're doing the show, or while we're vacating, and he'll be like, "Hey, are we supposed to be on? Hey, you sending me my link?" So Derpy, I do need you to take note that that's going to be our week
Mark
off.
it
It's
down.
going to be the last week of May. Guys, one more thing before we do get started. You guys remember the curveball or the clock ball that you used to get when you were a kid? One would test how fast you threw a baseball, and the other one would have marks on it to where you hold the ball to, like,
I
throw
remember that one.
curveballs and sliders,
I remember
which,
that one.
which were awful because with the curveball one, you didn't know how to throw it. Still, you put your fingers in the
No,
right place,
but
but you
you
still
like
don't know how
your
to throw the
arm.
ball.
Yeah.
Right
Like
there's a
how
whole
where
there's
am
a
I
whole
supposed to put my arm? Yeah.
there's a whole the mechanics of it. And then the other one, you hold the button on the ball. I had this one, and as you let it go, it releases the button, and then from the time it gets released to the time it hits the other person's glove, that's the time. Like it clocks your
Yeah.
time, and it was
Huh.
terrible because if it hit the ground, it broke. If it you weren't, like, you had to be exactly 30 feet away from the other person, or it didn't
Yeah.
work. I mean, it was like all these things that you couldn't hit the ball, and it was just I don't know. I had them all, but I got to tell you, none of them helped me.
No,
Nothing saves you from being worried about getting hit in the face with the baseball.
no, huh? Once you have that fear, man, it's over at that point. But yeah, I remember the grip one. Like some dude in the neighborhood had one, and we'd all try and figure out how to throw these pitches. And like you said, they never worked.
No, because again, you have to know how to throw the pitch. You can't just
Yeah,
hold it where it says and throw it. I mean,
yeah,
you have to know how to throw it.
yeah. Because if you're trying to throw, a curveball and a slider with the same mechanics, it's not going to work.
You're right. I was very put off by that toy. And as I said, after the one with the clock in it hits the ground once, it's done.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's get into it. We did have Skenes Mania. We had
Oh
Skenes Day,
yeah.
everybody. The highly anticipated Paul Skenes debut on Saturday against the Chicago Cubs. At that point, the Pirates were down 1-0 in the series. We figured, we're going to get Paul Skenes. We're going to blow through these Cubbies and en route to our way to victory. However, it wasn't so plain and simple.
No.
The game was,
I mean, it was until the pen happened.
well, you know what? This bullpen's the worst thing ever. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But so Paul Skenes comes in. He has, I mean, it wasn't a bad day for the guy pitching his very first game in the majors.
Nope.
There was so much, and as I said, so much that went along with this game. There was his big start, his big debut, and then he strikes the first two guys out, and then the dude hits a home run off him down, a couple innings. He pitched 4 total innings. Then a rainstorm comes, and then the show that is the rain crew who's trying to pull that
This was
tarp
your
out.
favorite. This was your favorite part.
Has
I
anybody
did not
seen
see
this?
this part.
Oh, it's embarrassing. I gotta tell you, and this happened last year too. And I was telling Mike, it was like almost the same thing. The crew's pulling out the tarp, and before they can get it all the way out, it's covered with rain because it's raining so hard. So then the guys can't pull it, and they're pulling and they're falling, and there's guys falling under the tarp, and I mean it's like a halftime show.
Yeah. We got a caller. Ryan?
I know, Mike. It's
Okay, I didn't know if you
I'm
saw
working on
Brian.
you there,
Apology.
man.
Yeah.
Um, but I do want to say though that it was quite the it was, and as I was telling Mike this whole story, I was like, this whole exact thing played out last year in a
Yeah.
game that I was
Yeah.
watching that rained out, and they were falling under the tarp, and
Hmm.
so I don't know who they got in there.
I
Deep
don't know,
guns.
because I remember you telling me that same story last year as you were telling me this one yesterday at the studio. I'm like, what the hell is going on with the Pirates rain crew? Like,
And then these two,
it's just as bad as the product on the field.
so then these two teams they battled to a 10-9 game. Pirates win this game 10-9, 19 runs scored. So all together it was a wild game. If you bought tickets to this game, except for running for shelter when it rained, it was a pretty worth it game, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to continue to do well in his days.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we will get back to that. We do have a call. Um, on the phone is Paul Skenes' mustache. Good morning, Paul Skenes' mustache.
Uh, Hello.
Good morning, Paul Skenes'
Jesus
mustache.
Christ. I hate you
Good
guys.
morning.
I do want to talk to you, Paul Skenes' mustache. I have lots of questions. Thank you for calling in, of course.
Oh, no problem.
How was the build up for you? I know Paul. I mean, it had to be the nerves on the guy. He's going for his first game in the majors, less than a year from pitching in college in the World Series. How was preparation for you, Paul Skenes' mustache, and this whole build up to Paul's debut?
Well, most of the preparation was with Olivia Dunn.
I was going to ask. Yeah. Yeah. Where is Olivia Dunn's landing strip?
There is none.
It's on Paul. It's on Paul's upper lip. Paul Skenes' mustache. Had you had a warm welcome here in Pittsburgh once you got here? I know a lot of people. I mean, that's your thing. That's your everyone knows Paul because of you. Eventually the pitching is going to come along, but right now it's all you, man. The mustache is making the money.
Oh, I think the mustache might be busy giving a ride to someone.
Sorry about that. I was busy with something. This stash gets around.
I must ask you a question, Paul Skenes' mustache. Now, as I said, you're basically the breadwinner. I mean, Paul's pitching has yet to come around, how people were expecting it to. So right now, you're the big show. The mustache is what everyone's paying to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we get the big money. We were pitching well there in the first inning, and then I saw that Jared Jones character. He was hitting on my girl, so got a little distracted there.
Yeah, no, I could definitely understand that.
You might have to keep her away from the clubhouse from now on there, Mr. Mustache. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that Aronis Chapman, man, this finger injury, I'm looking into that because
Suspicious.
I have a feeling there's something going on there.
Yeah. It doesn't. The timeline is kind of murky.
Paul Skenes' mustache. Let me ask you. I was thinking over the weekend. I thought, why is this team never good? Why are they consistently bad? And how can you consistently be so bad? I just want to know your opinion, being the newcomer here in the locker room. As a matter of fact, you having your own locker next to Paul has people not having their own locker in this Pittsburgh Pirate locker room, which is like somebody lost their locker room to Paul Skenes' mustache.
Yeah. Ronzi Contreras does not have a locker because the stash needs its own locker.
Yeah. My locker is right next to Russell Wilson's quarterbacks coach.
Paul Skenes' mustache. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, are you worried that the mustache having your own locker is going to cause strife and discord inside the clubhouse?
Oh no, Paul just puts a lot of Vaseline on me, and that's not to get any more movement on his curveball. That's for other things.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's thinking. That's thinking.
Paul. So Paul got his first start under the belt. He got 4 innings. He pitched a good game. He only gave up 4 hits, 1 run, gave up a homer, had 7 strikeouts. How much of this do you take credit for? Because again, the only thing that I could credit to all this success and the way that Paul pitches is the mustache. Because nobody that does not have your mustache, does not have you as a mustache, does not throw the way Paul does. So the only thing that I could figure is it's mustache, nothing else. And on top of that, you could look on Mike's screen right now. He does have Livy Dunn's picture up there.
Want to make you feel at home.
The
Yeah,
girlfriend. Yeah.
I've been to places that every man wants to go to.
Paul Skenes' mustache. We're not going to keep you too much longer. Does anybody else have a question for Paul Skenes' mustache, Derpy?
I have questions, but I can't ask them on air.
Of course you can. We're past the first 7 seconds.
No,
Mike, I'll send you the video.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for. That's what I was hoping for.
Who wants a mustache ride? I do. I want one. You remember that line in Super Troopers when the swingers, they're like, I want one. I want one.
Yeah.
They got that idea for that movie for me.
That's right, they did.
They did.
Paul Skenes' mustache. One more question before we let you go. Do you in any way fear? Do you in any way fear that you may be under attack from an Antonio Brown on Twitter, because we all know that he goes after certain targets sometimes, and the last one that he went after was a certain part on Caitlin Clark that was grown a little long. Are you concerned with a possible future attack from Antonio Brown?
I'm currently in negotiations with two things. One is the Yankees. We're already in discussions about my next contract, and the other one is with Caitlin Clark. We're negotiating some things there.
Huh.
Maybe
the rubber is going to meet the road at some point.
Hey, now, all
right. Video. Send this way.
Yeah, if we don't have video, it never happens. So.
Yeah. Pixar didn't happen.
All right, Paul Skenes' mustache. I do want to thank you for calling, as always. Yes. It's great hearing from you. We're gonna keep tapping into your to see how things are going with you as this next month or so goes along. Very curious to see how things are going in the locker room with Paul, yourself, and of course outside of the locker room as well with personal business. So we'll be on top of that. Paul Skenes' mustache. We do want to say thank you so much. Thank you for giving us a call. All right, everybody. There you go. Paul Skenes' mustache. Generous enough to give us a ring on this Monday morning.
Yeah.
I very, very fortunate here at the Two Dumb Ninja Studio. I got to tell you.
We have connections.
That's right. Guys, Paul Skenes, he is plus 1,200 chances to win Rookie of the Year, plus 1,200.
That sounds about right. This late in the season being called up, even though there's still a long way to go. That sounds about right. This was
Andrew McCutchen led off for both Steven Strasburg's big debut, and now for Paul Skenes' big debut. Of course, Strasburg was back in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
He was the number 2 prospect overall number 1 at the time, as well as Skenes is the number 1 overall and the number 3 prospect. Paul Skenes is 21 years old, and Andrew McCutchen, again, he did lead off for both of those teams. Mike, here are how the numbers broke down for both of those players. Steven Strasburg pitched 4 innings. Paul Skenes pitched 4 innings. Steven Strasburg gave up 4 hits. Paul Skenes gave up 4 hits. Strasburg gave up 2 runs. Paul Skenes gave up 3 runs.
Yeah, right.
They both gave up a home run. And Strasburg had 6 strikeouts, and Paul Skenes had 7 strikeouts.
Not bad.
And also, Skenes struck out 7 of the 12 batters that he faced.
Oh, wow.
Kind of puts it into perspective. He faced 12 batters, 4 innings. He struck out 7 of them.
Would have been nice to have him all season long.
Yeah. I mean, would it really, though? I mean, they almost blew the game that he – listen,
that's true.
Jared Jones pitched the night before, and they managed to lose that game 7-2.
Yeah.
And then they almost lose this game. And then it came, yesterday, it goes to 10 innings. They lose 5-4. They lose the series to the Cubs 2-1. The Pirates dropped to 18-23 in the division. The Cubs are 24-17. You have Mitch Keller on the hill tonight. They're starting a series in Milwaukee on the road. Mitch Keller will be on the hill, coming in with a 4.41, going up against Colin Ray, who's coming in with a 3.29 ERA. And this is how the division looks right now, guys. As we speak, Milwaukee sitting up top, the Chicago Cubs sitting a half game back. We did that. Pittsburgh sitting 6.5 games back. Cincinnati's 7 games back, and St. Louis is 8 games back. Now we play the Milwaukee Brewers in the division. The Cubs play Atlanta at Atlanta. Cincy plays at Arizona, and St. Louis plays at the LA Angels. So maybe we could get a little bit of help, guys. I don't know. I mean, we really don't have much else, you know? So we have to kind of hang and hope that this team could maybe, just maybe do something. I do know that Red Hot Mike at the top of the list of all the statistics. If you go across, it's Connor Joe. I see you had that going across the bottom of your screen. He leads or is in second pretty much in every of the major batting statistics. Him and O'Neill Cruz hit home runs again yesterday. I don't know what O'Neill has. I think he's about 7 home runs at this time.
But, he has 7. Yeah.
But if you go across the board of all the leaders, Connor Joe is up there, Mike, in everything.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a season. You just wish like everyone else that, supposed to be our big offensive players would contribute, and this team would be in a whole lot better situation.
And I'm looking at this team.
Batting average, on base percentage, ribbies. It's Connor Joe.
And I'm looking at this team, and you look at their every position, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. They're not a bet. They just called him Nick Gonzalez.
Yeah.
He's spelling Triolo a little bit at second base.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could definitely put together a lot worse team than what we have. And as I said, there's a seemingly decent player sitting in the backup position of every position. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't even think they know what they're doing, but this team should not be losing this many baseball games. No. The bullpen is killing us. It's killing us. It's killing us.
Yeah, the offense too, like the bullpen and the offense, because like you said, just going down the roster, there's a good baseball team in there. It's just not producing like a good baseball team. It's just it's frustrating because what's on the field is what we're going to get. The front office isn't going to go out to make a move to like shake up, the clubhouse, shake up the organization to try and breathe some life into the offense. So this is what we're going to have. The big move was calling up Nick Gonzalez from the minors. That's the big offensive move, and he's after 2 games batting $147. So or after I think 4 games maybe. That's our big offensive move. I don't see nothing to increase the offense, so they got to figure it out themselves. So it's nice to see Connor Joe playing the way he is. It's nice to see O'Neill Cruz starting to turn around after that terrible start to the season. Now we just need, big stacks to finally be a productive major league player consistently, not just in contract years.
This, Mike, this is a little skewed because I pulled it up just before the game on Saturday, so the numbers are a little skewed.
Yeah.
But just bear with me for the sake of the idea. This is the offensive rankings over the last 30 days, all the way up till Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the Pirates in that period of time, the last 30 days, they have scored 68 runs, which is 30th in the league out of 30. There's 30 teams in baseball. So they're dead last run scored in the last 30 days. Hits, Mike, 169 hits in the last 30 days. That's 29th. Home runs, 17 in the last 30 days. That's 29th. Collective batting average, 195. That's 29th. Doubles, 28, which is 29th. Stolen bases, 12, which is 25th.
Oh, hey,
and finally, one thing that they are doing well this year, and I don't think anybody can test this, to do watch the Pirates, they have been having smart at bats in the sense that they're not chasing bad pitches, because they had 89 walks in the last 30 days, and that's 7th in the league. The top third of something, I guess, is a good thing. But
you got that going for him.
So I mean, we can sit here and say bullpen, but the offensive numbers speak otherwise. The only people that really are performing right now is the starting pitching staff. I feel good about this pitching staff, with the exception of the fact they do have Quinn Priester still penciled in for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have a 6-man rotation right
Yeah, I
now.
was going to say a 6-man rotation. Get rid of Priester. Do something with him.
They're going to. Once they feel comfortable upping Paul Skenes' innings, Quinn Priester's out.
Yeah,
He's out like a fat girl in
I,
dodgeball, man. There's no way. He gave up 6 home runs in the only in the 4 games that he did start. Priester did not get any better.
Priester doesn't have it. He doesn't show any signs of turning it around either.
No.
Like if there's there's no sliver of hit. You watch any of his outings that go, hey, there's something to build upon right there.
No, there's nothing to build upon.
There's nothing. Like
it's tragic.
Yeah.
He looks as bad as his worst performance last year.
Yeah, it's just another wasted draft pick by this team. We can't draft, and we can barely draft and develop. We got lucky with Jones and Skenes. That especially with Skenes, that more or less a can't miss prospect.
Yeah. Also, you want to talk about some bullpen, Mike? In the game yesterday, both Chapman and Bednar did find the hill. Mm-hmm. This is their combined numbers.
I don't want to hear it.
Like the 2 of those pitched for 1.2 innings, okay? 5 outs. They gave up 4 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and managed to get 1 strikeout between Aroldis Chapman and David Bednar. Again, 1.2 innings. They gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and only managed 1 strikeout.
That's not good, especially for those two. Chapman, one of the greatest closers of all time. Bednar, who's been up in the past couple of years, been one of the best closers in the league. It's just a terrible performance, and those 2 were supposed to be the guys that are going to shut you down in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Once Holderman came back and everything, so it's just a terrible.
Bailey Falter's line looked like this yesterday. He threw for 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and managed 1 strikeout. So it wasn't one of his best starts, but on the other hand, it was still a totally winnable game. This game is decided in the 10th inning. Had very little to do with Falter. So there you have it. The Pirates, Mike, still in 3rd place.
Somehow still in 3rd.
Somehow still in 3rd. Well, Cincinnati's in there. I mean, St. Louis is in the division, and I'm sure when we play Cincinnati, they'll beat us.
Oh, and same thing with St. Louis. It's going to be.
They'll put us in our place.
Yeah, there's still room to drop, and this Bucco team will find it. We're only game and a half above St. Louis.
De La Cruz will hit 3 home runs, and O'Neill Cruz will strike out 10 times.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember that discourse last year of who was better, Ellie or our Cruz.
I don't want to know anymore.
Neither do I, because O'Neill will have he's having a stretch right now of playing pretty good ball. He crushed that home run the other day, but then he has that month before where he didn't know how to play baseball.
Pirates are 0-3 in their City Connect uniforms this year, Mike. 0-3.
Burn them. Burn them.
A couple more Paul Skenes statistics and facts. We'll move on. He's yeah.
I'm gonna say, well, his mustache is named Magnum.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good morning to Ralph on the board as well. Good morning, guys. Mike, so check this out. He had the most 100 plus mile per hour pitches in the first inning, 2 innings of any game this year by any pitcher. He has 16 100 mile per hour pitches in the first 2 innings of the game he pitched in his debut.
And they had some movement on them too. They were looking nice.
The second place guy in the whole league, the second place guy is Jared Jones. He has 8.
Really?
Yeah. So he has 8 100 plus pitches in the very first 2 innings. And of course, Paul Skenes blows it out of the water, doubles it up in his very first 2 innings pitching.
Yeah.
And one other interesting statistic line numbers, Mike, Nick Maddox. He threw, now this is Bucks under 21 years old, Pirates pitching who are under 21 years old in their debut. Of course, we know that Paul Skenes, he had 7 strikeouts. The most ever by a Pirate was 11 strikeouts by a gentleman named Nick Maddox in 1907. 11 strikeouts as a pitcher under 21 making his debut. John Candelaria back in 1975 did it. He had 6. And then Vernon Law back in 1950 had 5.
Wow.
5 strikeouts. And they are all those 4 guys are all at least 21 years old or under on their debuts. So pretty interesting. Paul, a lot of these guys we have, they're doing things that the Pirates never did. They just kind of all need to do it together as a team.
Yeah.
Pitchers need to pitch, hitters need to hit, It's a hodgepodge of nothingness, Mike.
That's what it is. You nailed it.
Before we do move forward, we have a lot of things to talk about today, guys. We got Steelers, we have Penguins, we have NHL, Pitt, Hounds, Passion. But before we do move forward, I do want to we have on the line, we have Ralph Williams from the Ralph Williams Show. Ralph, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Ryan. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, my man. Always great hearing from you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ralph, what do you got? What do you want to say about this Pittsburgh Pirate team overall, the state of this team? What do you want to say about the Paul Skenes debut? Where are you at right now with everything that's going on over at PNC Park, man?
All right. First of all, when they brought Skenes up, what they should have done was they should have sent David Bednar down to the minors. Bednar is hurt. He still has that injury from spring training. His velocity has been poor. He has a 9.14 ERA right now, and he's not pitching well. Okay, get him readjusted, then bring him back up. In the meantime, you could have brought Skenes up and had him play that role as closer. And he should have been brought up sooner to play as closer. And then Bettner comes back up, you put Skenes in a rotation. Okay, that would have helped Skenes a little bit better. All right, than the way they did it. Bettner, on the other hand, he's thinking up the joint. And then you got this kid, what is it, Devonshire, Delaney or whatever, that gave up all them walks on Friday. He would have been off the team if it was me. He would have been gone, long gone. And then they bring him in yesterday and have him pitch again, and he gives up walks. I mean, when is the Pirates going to understand that some of these bums just are not working here? And some of them, like that guy, that Delaney or Devonshire, whatever his name is there, he needs to go. That guy needs to definitely be out of here, gone. I don't care what you do with him, just get him off the mound as a major league pitcher. It was just horrible the way he walked all those guys on Friday, and then Shelton let him stay in there for all that time and walk all them guys.
Right? Why wasn't he yanking him? That was the main thing I was thinking. Why they let this guy in?
Yes, exactly. And I've been harping on this now for days, ever since this happened on Friday. And we could have won that game on Friday if that guy wasn't in there. And I mean, Sheldon makes these boneheaded decisions. Oscar Marin should be fired for this guy even being on a team. I mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, for this guy to even be here. And then yesterday, 9th inning, bases loaded. What was it? 1 out. What's Reynolds do? He tries to bunt. I mean, come on. What are you doing? Yeah. Then the ball goes to the pitcher and he throws it to the plate. I mean, come on. What are you doing? I mean, this is the type of stuff that just, this to me is bad news bear stuff. That's what this is. This is stuff that, that shouldn't be going on.
Everybody, this is Ralph Williams from Sports Corner with Ralph Williams, talk show here in Beaver County and Pittsburgh area. Ralph, let me ask you this. Let me say, we hire you right now as the Pittsburgh Pirates manager. We give Shelton the boot. We hand you the hat. You go in there. What do you do, Ralph Williams, at this time to turn this thing around for the Pittsburgh Pirates and to hopefully have them in contention come down the end of the season?
First of all, Connor Joe's my steady first baseman for now until I can find somebody. Number 2, Roddy Tellez goes bye-byes, okay, because he's done nothing, okay? Yeah. And then on top of that, we got to do something with this rotation. Like I said, that Devonshire, whatever the heck that kid's name is, he would be automatically off the team, gone. I wouldn't even send him to the minors. That's how bad he was on Friday. So then on top of that, and then you have Bettner. Like I said, I would send Bettner to the minors, wait till he gets fixed and adjusted, put Skenes in at Bettner's position. Skenes can pitch an easy 2 innings and get batters out. I mean, now Bettner's laying an egg with that job. And then Darius Chapman, here's another guy that was supposed to be this great phenom pitcher that come here that was better than most that we've had. And look at what he's done. He hasn't done anything. All he's done is give up walks, runs, home runs, long balls. I mean, I would fix this whole team up considerably. I mean, I would, I'd send Key Brian Hayes to a professional doctor, find out what's going on with his ongoing back injury. He's had that's lingered since last year. Something's wrong with that picture there, and and so on. I'd have different people in different parts of the starting lineup. It's not really that hard. I'd fire Andy Haynes. I'd fire Oscar Marin. I'd bring in some guys that can teach these kids how to play baseball. Bring in somebody who can teach, somebody who can show them what to do, somebody who can. Andy Haynes worked with Milwaukee's top-notch stars there over the years, and him and Craig Counsell had a falling out over something, stupid, and that's why Counsell fired him. I mean, you mean to tell me you worked with them guys, you can't work with these guys? What's the problem here? So I would fix it up immediately.
Another
That's
thing
what I would do.
I mean, right off the bat, I'm ready to give you the hat here and send you down and put you in charge. But here's another thing that fascinates me as well, guys, is the fact that you could bring in a Aroldis Chapman. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that the guy's getting up there in age, but you know what? These generational players, they usually are okay past their prime. But here's the thing that I'm really fascinated with the Pittsburgh Pirates and Chapman and guys like this. When they're elsewhere, I mean, how many World Series has Aroldis Chapman pitched in? I think 3 now. He comes to Pittsburgh and he stinks. We have guys here that stink. They go elsewhere. They're pitching in the World Series. What is it about the Pittsburgh Pirate locker room that's just a dead end for players?
Well, here's something fascinating, guys, and I couldn't believe this happened. Do you know yesterday on the Ben Sherrington show, he finally admitted that it's his fault that this is the way this is with the Pirates. Well, if it's your fault, then Ben, if it's your fault, then fix it. Okay,
I did hear about this.
Yeah.
Can you fill me in on the detail? I didn't see it or read it.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but
okay.
I did hear the part when he said, "Look, it's my fault that this is going on," and that's the very first time I've ever heard anybody from the Pirate organization take the blame for what's going on here. And it should start at the top with Bob Nutting. We all know that, So, but I mean, but now Charrington finally came clean on yesterday's general manager show or whatever that is, and he said, I take the blame for this. It's my fault. So I mean, now that you've admitted it's your fault, Ben, start cleaning the house.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Yeah. No, I did. I heard of this report. I didn't see it myself, but that is interesting. You don't generally hear that. You're 100% right. Guys, so this Pirate team, here we are, we're sitting here at 18-23. Some people could say this is exactly where they expected us. I was a little bit more optimistic, especially coming off of a 20-8 start last year. I thought, maybe they'll mirror that and do a little bit better, perhaps. But this team is what it is. And realistically, Ralph, do you see this team being in any position at trade deadline to make a move to where they're buyers? And I know we're a ways off. We still have to get all the way through July 4th holiday. But at this point, with the way things look, I mean, are we going to be sellers? Are we going to be buyers? And if we are sellers, what talent do you think is potentially going to be lost if we do become sellers?
Any of the veterans on this team that have 1-year contracts will be gone. That the Pirates do that every year. If they're not performing, they're gone. I see Tellez going. I see probably a Darius Chapman. I see a few guys that have 1-year contracts that could go. Now, Grandal and Bart have been pretty stallment there at catcher. They've been doing pretty well for themselves, which is good because we haven't had that in a while. My question is, can Grandal stay healthy? He's got that fasciitis stuff in his feet. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, can he stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, that's a good 1-2 punch for catcher. Then we can leave catcher alone and hope that Andy Rodriguez can come back from his injury and Henry Davis can start getting his act together or whatever he's doing wrong, and get himself together. I don't get it. They send Henry Davis down to get his act together, but Bettner they keep up here. I think, like I said, he's the biggest poison right now in the pitching staff because he's not doing his job as a closer. His velocity's off. His pitching is off. He needs to get straightened up first before he can go back out there. That's my feeling on that.
I agree with you 100%, Ralph. This team is so frustrating. They do it to us every year.
And every year they do to us. Yes. And then at the end of the year, they'll come up with something and end up, they'll probably win 80 games maybe this year, close to 500. I'm hoping. That's what I'm looking at. Last year they won 78 games. If they win 2 more games, that's to them, that's progress.
Oh,
So,
to them, that's enough for a parade right there.
yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mike.
Yeah, that and another question I have with this catcher position, guys. You do have Joey Bart, you do have Grandel, you do have Andy rehabbing because he is the catcher of the future. Where does this leave Henry Davis? Let's say Henry Davis starts hitting the ball in the minors, and they decide, you know what, it's a good idea to bring him back up. Now you have, basically two and a half catchers playing in front of Henry Davis,
Yeah.
and now you have a full outfield to where last year they threw him in right field just to get him out there. You don't necessarily have room in the outfield anymore. Where does Henry Davis go once he gets his hitting back?
I think catchers in the past that we've had, guys, Mike and Ryan and Darby, I don't want to disinclude you in this conversation either. But anyway, most of the time they've gone to first or third.
Right.
So I think maybe Davis should be at first or third base to back up Key Brian Hayes a little bit, or put him at first base. We haven't had a really good first baseman in a while. I thought Carlos Santana was doing well last year. I didn't expect them to trade him. He had a pretty decent bat, a good glove, and the Will Craig experiment went bye-byes.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we just haven't had one. We need to get a real solid first baseman. That's exactly what we need to do, and quit bringing in these guys for one year. And if you're going to do that, maybe put Henry Davis there. That might be his position. Who knows?
Yeah.
Might be, because if Edney pans out the way that they think he is the catcher of the future.
Yes.
And also, you're going to try to find, Henry Davis a more permanent home as well, being this is, your prospect. You brought this guy up through the system. And if you're going to, maybe slap him over at first base, make him a first baseman, because again, he's not going to find permanent residence behind the plate or again in the outfield, at least not this season. They went out, they loaded up on outfield this year. There's literally nowhere for Henry to play. Make him your first baseman of the future and run with that. But Ralph, you do make another great point. How often do you see Brian Hayes get days off? Very rarely, because third base is a hard position. You can't just stick anybody over in the hot corner. That's also a very good idea as well, Ralph.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they brought up Nick Gonzalez to help out, so that's good. He from what I saw this weekend, he looks like he's playing pretty good there. You got Triola at second, and I think G1 Bay is still hurt too. So I mean, he was a kind of a utility infielder. So I mean, you bring guys, got some guys with some flexibility here, but they're all hurt. And you bring up Nick Gonzalez, you got him at third. Triola's been solid at second. So, and O'Neill Cruz, if he can learn how to catch a ball or whatever with that small glove he has,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, O'Neill Cruz is starting to hit the ball. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if
That's
he
a
could
good
just
sign.
get some of these guys to start hitting the ball a little bit and quit stinking up the joint and striking out all the time, and I want to give the Cubs credit this weekend. They worked our pitchers. A lot of their batters, if you noticed, did not go after bad pitches. They
Right.
let us pitch to them. And that's the first time I've seen a team do that to the Pirates this year. So the Cubs were smart. Craig Counsell's a good manager. He was with Milwaukee. He knows a lot about the Pirates. So they made our pitchers pitch. They really did.
Speaking of Milwaukee, one more before we let you go, Ralph. We have a 3-game series coming up in Milwaukee starting tonight. How does the series go for the Pirates?
Oh my, it's tough up there, but they got a new manager up there, so maybe things will be a little bit different. We'll see.
We managed to split the 4-game here, so I'd
Yeah.
imagine that it's probably not going to be as good for us out there. I'm going to say Milwaukee wins this series 2-1, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, Ralph. Thank you so much again, everybody. Ralph Williams from Sports Corner with Ralph Williams. Do check him out. YouTube.
This week, this Tuesday, we have to go on social media because of a preempted program on Beaver County Radio, and it might even be next week too. So, just a program note. Sports Corner will be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms this Tuesday with myself, Smoke, and Jim Frazier. And again, we got a real great guest lineup as well. So
go check them out, guys. I 100% recommend the Sports Corner with Ralph Williams all over the place. As he said, Facebook, YouTube, X, it's everywhere. Check them out. Sports Corner, Ralph Williams.
Hey, I feel like Action News, Ryan. I'm everywhere.
That's right, baby.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
guys, I don't know if you heard. I just found out about a half hour ago. Former Allegheny County coroner, Dr. Cyril Weck, passed away today.
Oh
No
wow.
way. Wow.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just
he's
who
in his
was
90s. He was in hospice care. He was in bad shape.
and we just lost
You
D
know,
who was it? D Thompson from
D.
Yeah.
Thompson just passed away yesterday. Yes,
oh man.
absolutely. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. He passed away on Thursday. I'm dedicating my show tonight to D. Thompson. He's a great
Okay.
guy.
Yes.
Really good close friend with Smoke and Jim Frazier. They used to
Awesome.
do a TV show together on PCNC. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
check it
So,
out, everybody. I do tell you, I do recommend go over, check out Sports Corner Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m. You're gonna love it. Ralph Williams, thank you so much for the call, Ralph. Always great hearing from you, sir.
you're welcome.
All right, take care, my man. All right, guys, we're gonna move forward here. We're gonna go into some football. We have Mike, the rookie camp started up, basically the rookie
Yeah.
mini camp, and over the weekend, a couple things that I took away from this is Peyton Wilson was very impressive. He jumped
Yeah.
in there. He's running this defense. He's calling the plays. Mike, I think that this Peyton Wilson thing might work out.
I think so too, and I think they're fast tracking him to be ready to maybe supplant a Landon Roberts as the number 2 middle backer, get that speed out there with him and Patrick Queen. But
Do you
even
think
if he
that's
does,
possible? Do you think that's going to happen?
it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because a Landon Prate, he was that glue last year. He was the sole survivor at middle linebacker, and to me, he cemented his spot as number 2 out, behind Patrick Queen. But I think they'll find a way to rotate him in there because if he can fly to the ball the way they want this defense to play with speed, he will be a great addition to there. And Landon's just a thumper, so he can on obvious rundowns. I think he'll be in there, and Peyton on obvious pass downs might get, if they run 2 backers, we'll get the nod over him. But I think they want to fast track him in to be a starter. I think they see him as the long-term middle backer, him and Patrick Queen.
Also, some other stuff around the NHL rookie mini camp. Roman Wilson. Let me get to him in a second. Phil Dracovic wore number 49. Mike is a tight end. Now, this is former Pitt quarterback, and then he transferred, and now he's back as a tight end. The rookie trying out for tight end on the Steelers. He wore number 49. Mike, Phil Dracovic.
Yeah, I think that's just a favor to him to get him in there, see if there's something there. The last I saw, he was not offered a contract of any type, wasn't even invited to anything else other than this, I believe. I think it was just, hey,
at least Tim Tebow was extremely, at least Tim Tebow was extremely talented and athletic.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Phil Dracovic gets picked up by anybody as a tight end, right?
Yeah. No, I don't see it. No. It might have just been a favor to him, like, hey, let's get you in here. Maybe you can surprise us because these are just a tryout, so no harm, no foul for the Steelers right there. So
also, Roman Wilson will represent the Steelers at the 2024 NFLPA rookie premiere in LA from May 16th and 19th. I don't even know what that is, but Roman Wilson will be representing the Steelers there. Former Steeler Allen Robinson goes to the Giants. Maybe he'll be just as productive up there as he was for us.
Oh God, he went from
he's just what the Giants need.
He went from our quarterback room to that quarterback room. He had Mitch Trubisky in Chicago, and this guy can't find a good quarterback to save his life.
The other big one, Mike, the big one over the weekend that we lost a lot of people. And I don't know. Some people wanted this. A lot of people. Dupree goes to the Chargers. So he was the Chargers, Pittsburgh, and somebody else he was supposed to meet with. He ended up signing with the Chargers, probably on a 1-year deal.
It was a 2-year deal. It's not a bad contract that he signed. I
really?
Think. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it would have been too much for what we were going to pay for him. I think it was just too much.
So Marcus Golden is still out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting yancy, like we don't have 30 linebackers, but it would be a huge addition getting him back in the linebacker room, Mike, because again, he did have 4 sacks as a backup on the outside. So I'd like to see Marcus Golden come back.
Me too.
Get him pretty cheap.
I like that 4-man group that they had of him, Watt, Highsmith, and Herbig. That was a good productive group.
Absolutely, Mike. The one thing that I keep seeing over the weekend. Well, let me talk about Cam for a second. Cam Hayward and the Steelers and talks over contract extension. How much longer could Cam Hayward hang on, Mike?
He was like a goddamn cockroach. He just won't go away. Like herpes, he just keeps coming back. He needs to go away. Like, he doesn't want to take a salary reduction. So is this their way of doing it? Is just spreading it out over 3 years? Whatever. I just don't. I don't get it. Like, he's not productive. He'll have like 3 good games, and then that's all everyone remembers. You don't have to double team him anymore. He's a liability on that side. Him and Watt are not good against the run anymore. So if I'm a team, I'm just running to that side. I'm running to my right every goddamn time. I'm taking those two out of the play.
I'm very interested to see how they're going to fix this problem this year, because that certainly was an issue last year. And if they don't fix it, we're going to run into that same problem all season.
Yeah, like you can't. Kane's been on the downside since 2017. His career has just steadily gotten worse since then, since he got exposed in the playoff game against Jacksonville. And he's at the twilight of his career. He is capable of having good games, but they're fewer and far between now than they once were. So I don't get it. I don't know.
20
Like, my God, we let Joey Porter go, and he when he was still productive, let's go back even further. Levon Kirkland go. He was a better defensive player than Cam Hayward would. Where did Franco Harris finish his career? Where did Rod Woodson finish his career?
Yeah.
Okay, these guys are actual champions, actual Hall of Famers, and we're keeping this guy around.
Speaking of TJ Watt, Mike, 23 years ago, a record was set. A record was set by Michael Strahan. A little bit of buzz this weekend. The one sack, apparently there might have been an error, a ghost sack, if you will, and would put TJ Watt in the top spot of all time. Mike, any opinion on that? I mean, if the guy didn't get the sack and it was recorded wrongfully, is there anything that could ever be done about that? Because
No.
The thing is, you could always go back and look at footage and say, you know what, that is 100% not a sack.
Yeah, but you can do that for just about any other record, probably, to go back and look. And to me, then you start going looking at rushing titles, passing titles, receiving yardage stuff. No, like, get it reviewed. There's a time frame for this stuff to be reviewed by the league, and it's well past that point. No. He's tied for first. He's in first place with Michael Strahan.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with two people holding the same record.
The NFL schedule does come out this Thursday, guys, 8:00 p.m. on NFL Network. Everybody's waiting for this NFL schedule. Yeah. The first game of the year did get announced. It is on September 5th between the Ravens and the Chiefs. That is going to kick off the season. And I think that's a pretty good game to kick off the NFL season.
That's a great game to showcase.
Mike, I got something interesting I do want to read off for you guys. This is between Mike Fiorio and Chris Sims. They're talking about their 3 best rivalries in the NFL.
Oh my God, I saw this.
So Mike Fiorio said the 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go backwards. From number 3 for Mike Fiorio, Kansas City at the LA Chargers. Green Bay Packers versus the Chargers. Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. And the number 1 by, according to Mike Fiorio, biggest rivals in the NFL, Kansas City versus Buffalo. Now let me read you Chris Sims. Number 3, Chris Sims, Philadelphia versus San Francisco. Number 2, Kansas City versus San Francisco. Which how can you call that a rivalry? Yeah, they met in the Super Bowl twice. Yeah. KC won twice. I hardly call that a rivalry.
Yeah.
That's the only number 1, according to Chris Sims, is number 1 rivalry in the NFL, guys, is Kansas City versus Cincinnati.
Yeah.
These are, according to these well-paid professionals, the 3 best rivalries in the NFL.
Well, it's like the Buffalo KC one. I was like, you have to win a game for it to be considered a rivalry, and Buffalo doesn't. But then I was going to say, well, where's Pittsburgh and in Baltimore, but Baltimore hasn't won a
They have
game.
you got to win a
They're
game.
1-7 in the past 8. So maybe my argument is, I'm arguing myself out, but no, that is the rivalry. That is the rivalry of the NFL. It is the best rivalry in football. I'm sorry, it's not even close. Not even close. They play each other twice a year, and those games have huge implications. And everyone in the league knows that those are the most physical games of the year. Steelers Ravens matchups.
And it's not even just being Pittsburgh guys saying this. It's
No.
100% true. The best rival, the best football, the best. It's comes down to Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. That's all I got to say when it comes down to it.
People,
just because a couple of these other teams have been good recently, they've met a couple of times. Now they're the best rivalry in football.
No,
come on.
No, this is like a rivalry, no, like back in the 70s when Steelers Cowboys, that was a rivalry because you were going after, they were chasing Super Bowl titles. Dallas lost to Pittsburgh twice in that era, and the only time they won was when they didn't play the Steelers. That was a rivalry. Steelers Raiders rivalry in that era because they were fighting to get to Super Bowls. These guys right here, Buffalo hasn't made it to a Super Bowl. They haven't even made it to a conference championship game.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to saucer pass it over to the ice because we are running a little low on time here. The Penguins re-signed forward Pustin and Mike to a 2-year.
I like it. Good deal. Good player. Like to see him up now that Jeff Carter's done. Pencil him in the third, fourth line. I want to see it.
All right, flash trivia, Mike. I'm asking you. I'm asking Derpy. Flash trivia. Here we go. Which goalie has the most wins, the most playoff wins since 2000? I'm looking for which goalie. This is a flash trivia, guys. Which goalie has the most playoff wins since the year 2000? Oh. Derpy, who do you think it is?
I don't watch that much hockey.
All right, Mike.
I'm gonna go with the goalie from Tampa Bay. I forget his name. Oh my god.
Vasilevsky.
Yes.
All right, so this is the answer to this flash trivia question is which goalie had the most playoff wins since the year 2000? Number 1, Marc-Andre Fleury with 92. Number 2, Marty Brodeur with 79. And number 3, Travis Vasilevsky from Tampa Bay with 66. Of course, Brodeur had a lot more before 2000. Yeah. This guy's Marc-Andre Fleury is your all-time playoff win leader here in the NHL since the year 2000. So that's something pretty awesome.
I figured he would be up there, but I thought Vasilevsky had more wins than that. But he's ladder.
I'm only going to jump into this for one reason. I'm going to jump into the NBA briefly. The 4 series look like this, guys, as we speak. Boston's up 2-1 over Cleveland in that series. The Pacers and Knicks are both tied 2 games apiece. Dallas up 2-1 over Oklahoma. And finally, Minnesota and Denver is tied 2 games apiece. And the reason I did tell you that now is because these 4 cities, Denver, Dallas, New York, and Boston, all have a chance to do something that nobody has ever done. These cities, but all 4 of them have a chance to have champions from both the NHL and the NBA in the same season. Teams reaching the finals from the same cities has happened 8 times. Nobody has ever won as a city the NHL and the NBA finals in the same year, but Denver, Dallas, New York, and Boston are all still in the hunt. All 4 of those teams in both their respective sports do have a chance to make it to the finals.
That's wild.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do want to say I want to congratulate, guys, the Pitt athletic class of 2024, which includes a list of names that include Jerron Blair. Of course, Pitt, he went on to the NBA, had a pretty good career. Billy Hillgrove, Darrell Revis, Dick Grote, and a bunch of other people, Amy Jackson, Brianna Kiesel, George McLaren, Jamie Pelusi, and Al Romano, Steve Lewis as well. So congratulations to all those guys and gals making it to Pitt's Hall of Fame. The Pittsburgh Passion were off this week, Mike. This is their bye. Yep. They'll be back at it next week at home against New York, the New York Wolves on Saturday. Traveled to Pine Richland to play the Pittsburgh Passion. We'll talk about that more as the week goes along. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they come to a draw, Mike, 2-2 against FC Tulsa in their game. You know what? Another game that's not a loss. We'll take it, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
Let's see. In the UFL, In the UFL, Mike, we had games this weekend. We had the big showdown between the Birmingham Stallions and the St. Louis Battlehawks. That game was the second game on Saturday. Birmingham squeaks out a win, 30-26, to stay undefeated. Stay undefeated.
Damn.
The first game on Saturday, not so impressive.
Yeah.
The 1-6 Memphis Showboats and the 1-6 Arlington Renegades. The Renegades win this one 47-23 over Memphis. On Sunday, the Michigan Panthers 22, the DC Defenders 9. And finally, the late game on Sunday was the San Antonio Brahmas 15, the Houston Red Roughnecks 12. That puts the Brahmas at 5-2. St. Louis at 5-2, Birmingham 7-0, and the Michigan Panthers 5-2. The other teams are the Defenders with a 3-4 record, Houston, Arlington, and Memphis all with 1-6 records.
I might have to change my allegiance from the DC Defenders. Beer Snake is not what it once was. It's not carrying the boys through to victory. I got to change allegiance here.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumbyinjers.com. Over there, you got links to all of our social medias, links to our Spotify account, links to just about everything you need for the Two Dumb Yinzers. You got the merch store over there, and you got the blog over there. And the blog is still about Paul Skenes' debut last week. I still got to figure out something for this week, but check it out. The2dumbyinjers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.twodumbyinzers.com. It's www.the2dumbyinzers.com. I did say the second time, you jackass. So here we go. Here's the question of the day, guys. This is off of something that we talked about last week briefly, but I think you guys will like it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Which of these two colleges have more DBs in the NFL?
Ooh.
Which of these two colleges have more DBs in the NFL? Pitt or Penn State? Ooh, take a minute to think this out, guys. We are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. And to show that we do brand new and live every day, we take and we upload in podcast form over on Spotify. If you don't get a chance to watch the show, or maybe you just rather listen to it, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at the gym, you just put your earbuds in. You can always check out the brand new Two Dumb Yinzers show at Spotify at 8 o'clock every night. Check it out. All right, guys. So the question of the day is this: which college has more DBs in the NFL? Is it Pitt or is it Penn State? Durfee, I'm going to start with you. Which one of these two colleges have more DBs in the NFL?
I hate to say the name, but I'm going to go Penn State.
All right. Is this your final answer?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to lock Durfee in. He says the Penn State Nittany Lions. Mike, I'm going to come to you next. Which college has more DBs in the NFL? Durfee says Penn State.
Pitt.
And Mike says Pitt. Is this your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Question of the day. Which of these colleges has more DBs in the NFL, Pitt or Penn State? I do want to say, guys, it is a tie. Both teams have 9 current DBs in the NFL.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
You trickster.
I did. I wanted to mix it up a little bit today.
I know, like they produce secondary players.
Yeah,
Penn
for
State,
sure.
we got linebackers.
Right. Between the two, we could make a good defense.
We could.
Guys, I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out and coming to hang out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We really do. We couldn't do it without you. Also, I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You always keep things interesting. I do also want to say, check out Sports Corner with Ralph Williams, as he did say he will be podcasting and social media this week. He will not be on the radio. So 4 o'clock on Tuesday, check Ralph Williams out. And then on Wednesday, go check out One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. He's for 5 o'clock. I'm sorry. Go check those shows out. A lot of great things going on over there. Mike, anything before you're ready to take off?
I got nothing. I just can't wait for Wednesday, the NFL release date.
Very excited. Absolutely. Derpy?
Stay bold, my friend. Mike.
Did you say stay bald?
Yeah.
You know what, Derpy? I'll make that choice for you, buddy.
There you go. Guys, I do also want to add my thing is this. I thought long and hard over the weekend about this. This is true. This isn't listen. The 4 games that the Steelers wasn't supposed to win, the 4 games the Steelers wasn't supposed to win. 1989 playoffs, Denver Broncos. 1998 Denver Broncos. This team was dominant in Denver. Steelers ended up winning 35-24 in that game. The game in 03 against Tampa Bay, where they were supposed to just kill us. We didn't have much going on. We beat them on Monday night 17-7.
I remember that game.
And finally, Mike, the game against a very heavily favored Indianapolis Colts in the second round of the 2005 playoffs, where the Steelers managed to win that game 21-18. Yep. Mike, those are the 4 games that the Steelers were not supposed to win, but they ended up winning anyway. I just, for whatever reason, came up with that list over the weekend. And if anybody has any games that are also in that list, and you come up with, or
I think that entire Super Bowl run, we weren't supposed to win. We were supposed to lose against the Bengals, the Colts, and the Broncos. We weren't supposed to win any of those.
Yeah. Very unlikely turn of events.
Yeah.
You figure Carson going out with the injury that helped, and then the Indianapolis game with all the things that went down in that game that helped. Yep. So, but I do think that's it, fellas. Yeah. Derpy, one more time. Anything else? Speak now. Forever hold your peace, man.
I got nothing.
Mike.
I got nothing. I just football. Get here.
All right, we got the schedule coming this week, guys. Pirates back in action tonight, 7:40 over in Milwaukee, playing the Brewers. We'll be talking about that and a lot more tomorrow as we come back and do it all over again for the Two Dumb Yinzers. There's Derpy, there's Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.